All right, Sean, but let's move on here as we've been weeding through the season. Eventually you get to the point where you start to get to the end of things. And that's where we are in the world of college football.
Unreal.
The 4.5 month, I didn't calculate the days this year because unlike last year, not quite as invested. Surprise, surprise. In the entire thing. But we are at the college football playoff national championship at record time. We're 6 days away. Monday night, January the 19th, 7:30 Eastern time, ESPN network coverage. I'm sure every ESPN, I think last year. And if you're a fan of Indiana, if you're a fan of Miami, or you're just a fan of not listening to Kirk Herbstreit, I believe one of the feeds will have both the home and away, and it may even be an online feed, but the home and away radio feed.
That's rad. I like that.
I took advantage of that last year. As much as it hurt watching Notre Dame lose, listening to Tony Simeone and Ryan Harris call the game as opposed to the honks on ESPN was much more enjoyable. So highly recommend that if you take in the game. But to the game itself, number 10 Miami, they are 13-2 on the season. They take on number 1 Indiana, who is 15-0. They're an 8.5 point favorite. 47.5 is your over under on this one. Sean, your thoughts?
Well, for the record, I'd like to let it be known that I think Miami should have to beat them twice. That's just in the interest of fairness, just throwing that out there.
I like that. I actually like that.
No losses. You take one and you're done. It's just, I guess that's the nature of the game, but doesn't seem right. Now, the good news is I don't think it's going to come to that. 8.5 is probably fair for this game, though I want to lean that Indiana will beat them by more. Miami has a ton of talent on the defensive line and in the defense in general. The defensive backfield is, but the trouble for them is Indiana can beat you a whole bunch of ways. They're creative. They're not afraid to, like, if things are getting hard, to try something different. But they can beat you with the running game if you'll let them. They can beat you with the passing game if they have to. And they're a way better defensive team than I think people give them credit for. And you don't get to 15-0 if you're not good on both sides of the ball. And they are tested. I mean, this isn't an Indiana team that, like, lucked their way in. I mean, even getting into the bracket, I think that they had obviously what the committee thought was a very tough SEC matchup in their first game. And we may disagree. And they get through Oregon, who I thought Oregon was going to give them a fight. And holy smokes. If they come out at that pace against Miami, the good news for Miami is it's not a long run.
It's going to be over quick.
The good news is they're right in town. They can just hop in an Uber back home. Don't have to worry about a flight. And that's going to be good for them because I think Indiana, while it's going to be closer than their last couple matchups, probably with the nerves and everything, 8.5 should be coverable for them. So I'm going to give them the cover on the 8.5, and at 48.5 would rely on Indiana, I think, hanging up a bunch of points because I don't know that Miami's going to do it. I'm going to take a slight under in the national championship game. Defense wins championships, and I think both teams know that. I think it holds just under 48.5.
Nothing is over!
Yeah, man. Look, Miami, they've had – it feels weird to say, like, with a few of the teams they played, but the easier road here. The Texas A&M and Ohio State and turned out to be easier wins than expected. And then, you have a tight one with Ole Miss. And I don't know if that's Ole Miss was better or if the two teams were just tighter. But you look at what Indiana's done in this playoff and just dominating an Alabama team that didn't belong there. And look, I still stand on the fact they didn't belong. Or if they did belong, they shouldn't have been 9. Oklahoma shouldn't have been 8. And And you
well,
had,
I mean, to lose to Alabama and then watch Alabama get crushed in the next round is like, man, how bad are these two teams?
Like, so, I still feel there's a game there, and I'm not going to mention the team because I don't want to wake the trolls up. They've finally been getting some sleep. But like, there was a repeat of last year's opening round that was sitting there for the quarterfinal that I think would have been really, really fun. We didn't get it, and Indiana just dominated. But I thought that the game against Oregon was going to be close-ish. Like, Indiana's the better team. There was no denying that they were going to get there. But I thought there was going to be resistance, and there just wasn't. And I'm sitting here going, man, just give him the title. Just give him the title, because it really is not going to be close. I really don't think so. I think Indiana dominates this game, pretty much from the jump. Miami's going to linger for a little while because of the battle in the trenches, but Indiana's going to take over. They're bigger, they're stronger, they're faster, they're better, and they're going to win. I think they're going to win pretty easily. I think they end up covering the 8.5.
I think the only thing keeping that line at 8.5 is the fact that this is a home game for Miami.
Yeah,
I think on a neutral site that spread's probably 11.
Man, did you see? And I get, like, they're playing a team that has to travel from Oregon, but like the freaking Georgia Dome or whatever the hell it's called, the Mercedes-Benz, it looked like a goddamn Georgia home game. Like it was red. It was all red.
And I would not be surprised if Indiana travels real well to this game, because if you have a fan base of Indiana athletics, like, one, this has never happened. So if you've been putting money aside, now's the time. You'd like to think it'll continue on and on forever, but you never know. And you got to embrace it while you can. So I think there's a lot of folks in that Hoosier state that are selling second properties, taking out mortgages, whatever they have to do to get down here to Miami, take a vacation for a week,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's been a long time since Miami's been here, so I don't want to take that away from them.
Oh, sure.
But it's been a hell of a lot longer for Indiana. And I think we probably get a slight over, because I think there's going to come a point where Indiana just doesn't take their foot off the brakes, because I don't think that's in Curt Cignetti's DNA.
Nor should it.
So I think we hit the over, but not by a lot, but we do hit it there in this one. And we'll talk about the game and the winner next week on the show for sure. But yeah, this, and we'll talk about looking back on our season predictions, which we got dramatically wrong. Jason here to chirp. Sorry to change this out. Go Niners. Yeah. Well, Jason, stick around. You'll probably want to hear. Well, maybe actually
they may come up.
They may come up. You may not want to stick around. Actually, I don't know. Sucker for punishment, I suppose.